Hello, hello, hello. Sorry, I wasn't attached to the Wi-Fi. Hi, Lee Durrant. Looking forward to chatting tomorrow. Me and Lee are going to be having a natter tomorrow night live. Very squeaky voice. How are we all? Oh, I've got an array of tablets on my desk. Oh, look, Dance Your Tits Off is here already. I'm here to chat, to talk, to snort, to quaff. So, Dance Your Tits Off is joining us. If you don't know, Dance Your Tits Off is the loudest woman on Instagram. Hey! Hi, fuck face!
Right! That literally made me cry with laughter. He called me fuck face, guys. Can you believe that? I sent Mark a really nice message saying, "Are you sure you don't mind? Thank you so much for going live with me." And he went, "Course I am all right with it, fuck face."
It's such a brilliant, it's like a brick of face fucking. This is terrible. This all gone in the wrong direction. Sorry, I don't know what we're talking about. How are you?
Sober.
Oh, 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 I sense a little tightness at the gills.
Well, I don't know. Oh, it's lovely, Lee. Hello, darling. Yeah. So I got last fucking sober. So since I spoke to you,
Yes,
I had a live with your lovely
you
wifey.
did, of which I caught large chunks.
Um, and it's really interesting, isn't it? So maybe, oh fucking hell, I don't know. So I put a poll out today to say, look, tell everybody, like, we're going live. I don't know what to do. I feel a bit lost.
Right.
It's like I tell you, oh Mark, I just had an epiphany. It's like I've lost a friend.
But hang on a minute.
Okay.
Rose tinted glasses and all that. You've lost a friend, but have you not regained a different friend?
No.
All right, maybe you haven't. It was funny because when you sent that message and I said, "What do you want to talk about?" I showed it to Nads and you said, "Oh, how can I have a drink?" Do you feel? Do you look? First of all, I haven't had a chance to say for anyone on here now. So you've done 107 days.
Yeah.
Today.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a downward lilt and there's a kind of. I can see your feet. Are you feeling like you've achieved an accomplishment? What is the fear? Where is the fear?
I think it's.
Are you?
I think. Do you know what? I don't know what the fucking fear is. To be fair, I really don't know what the fear is. I think. Like I had two social occasions at the weekend. One was with, and they're actually both big drinker friends.
Right.
But luckily, one was a lunch, and my friend was driving, so
Yeah.
we didn't have anything. Neither of us had anything, and she was really like, "I'm so proud of you, Kaz." And she literally drinks a bottle a night.
Right.
Admitted,
Yeah.
functioning, but she just says she needs it.
Yeah.
And I know she knows what I think, and she not in a. I just don't want. She gets anxious as well, and I just said, "Babes, you just calm your drinking down a bit. It'll help with your anxiety."
Yeah.
Anyway, and then my other friend. So Sunday was Sunday lunch, and my mate was drinking, and and I'm loud. I didn't know if you knew that, but I'm quite loud, and the more I drink, the louder I get.
Yeah.
It's like. "Ah!" And then he was getting quite loud, but he was just laughing loudly. And you could see in the pub that people, not that I ever fucking mind that, but I was being a bit like, God, be careful. And I was like,
Oh,
I know.
that's interesting. Well, have you been met from friends with when are you going to rejoin us?
Yeah.
You have. When are you going to come back?
Yeah.
When are you going to just have a few?
Yeah.
When are you going to lose your shit so badly you think you seem worse than the rest of us?
Yeah.
Because that's what they're
When are you going to run
saying.
naked down the street like you used to, Kaz?
That's what they're saying. I mean, in the nicest way.
Yeah.
What they're saying is You know, I mean, look, I was weird because I was talking to Nads about this a minute ago, and I was just sort of saying, I don't think I've ever been asked re-sobriety about how I could have a drink again. So it's kind of like you know, it's not like you're a diagnosed definitive
No,
alcoholic. It's
not
not like if you were to
no,
have a drink, it's not like you stopped drinking because you were having the
no.
DCs. It's not like you stopped drinking because you were having sort of, you know, verging on schizophrenic breakdowns and every relationship was dysfunctioning, and you know, you weren't rock
No.
bottoming in the most in an obvious sense. So for me this is different because normally, you know, when people say things like, you know, about drinking and not drinking, I'm always coming from the perspective of it's usually a person who's coming from a place of, you know, you know, dramatically awful consequences if they have a drink.
Yeah.
Death, end of relationship, end of, you know. And so in that sense, it's all about doing everything in your power to make them see the light and kind of go, well, I don't think you should, and maybe you shouldn't for this reason, take it, keep it in the day, all that. It's slightly different because, I mean, you know, you've made the choice to do 100 days and you're now at 107. And I was talking to someone else on a live the other day who had done, I think they'd done 100 days too. And they were on the live and they said something, and I said, I hadn't thought about what I was going to say, but the first thing that came out of my mouth, and I thought, oh, I must remember this for Kaz, was be careful, because as soon as you hit any kind of anniversary or
Yeah.
moment that's a time marker,
Yeah.
two things happen. You feel a huge sense of achievement, and then you feel destitution. You feel like you've done something amazing, and then especially around drink and addictive things, another part of you thinks, oh, I don't have to do that again. But also you think to yourself, you know, and that's why I ask, what is the fear? There's another part of you that goes to, and I remember this when I relapsed before I went into rehab. When I picked up that drink, the fear the fear I had before I picked up the drink and relapsed was one of, oh my God, I'm going to unleash all the beasts and hounds of hell.
Oh.
And in my instance, I did. Now, I don't think it would be as dramatic as that for you, but I think what possibly is informing your fear is a knowledge that you're not at your best with a drink. I mean, insofar as you are already an outgoing, funny, gregarious, stimulating, interesting, all these things. And yet, you know, and drink, don't get me, as we discussed last time, you know, I often say, you know, we'd be lying if we didn't say drink can amplify that to a point. But
Yeah.
then for some of us, we just go to a place of becoming totally overbearing, if not with others and with ourselves. So maybe the fear that you're feeling is, you know, you want to step back towards it, but you don't know how to control it.
But the thing is, I don't mind getting drunk. Like, I love getting drunk.
Mm.
I don't, and somebody on one of them said, well, could you just have a couple?
Yeah.
And then I was thinking, I think the only way I could start to do that, is if I'm on my own
Mm.
at home and I'm cooking dinner and I have a glass. So I don't like drinking when I've eaten. So
Right.
I'll always drink. She unleashes the hounds of hell. That's one of my best mates. That's nice,
I
isn't
was
it?
going to have wonky nana
That's
that she
what,
unleashes that. You
that's,
don't need a drink to, but you see, that's the weird thing is that, I mean, it used to be said to me a lot, this idea that, but you're fun anyway. But actually, I might be,
but
but
okay.
I would
If,
say that even in sobriety, it comes at a huge personal
yeah.
cost still. Huge. And when I say effort, I don't mean like, you know,
Yeah,
God,
I
I
know
can't
what
be
you
bothered.
mean.
But
But
you know what I mean? You
yeah.
have to dig so deep to get to a place that presents to the world as, oh, she's fun and she's all
Yeah.
this. Whereas drink does do that thing where it fast tracks you there and you're like,
But
hey,
hey,
I'm off.
so
Yeah.
if you were like me
Yes.
and you weren't an
Yes.
alcoholic and you had given up, but you wanted a better relationship with alcohol, what would you do? Or is that too difficult to ask? Is that too difficult to
Oh,
answer?
you see, I don't know. I mean, okay, so what was I trying to say? What was I driving at a minute ago? One of your virtues is the fact that in giving you advice and having a chat about this, you've done 100 days, 107
Yeah.
days sober. You've got an awareness around alcohol. You've proved to yourself that you can do it. And that's huge, you know, and I haven't had a chance on here to say that is, you know, seriously pat yourself on the back,
Oh,
because that
thanks,
is
Mark.
just, it's amazing. But more amazing than the days is, I think, the fact that without even necessarily knowing you've been doing it, you've been engaging with yourself, you've been asking these questions, you're thinking about how I drink, who I drink with, what is the purpose, why am I doing it, what does it make me like, and all these kind of things. You've done these lives, you know, you've taken
Yeah.
responsibility for it, and you've looked into it. But you're not an alcoholic. So
Yeah.
I think what you have to do, you know, so my advice would, if it was me, my advice would be, well, I'm loath to say go actively seeking a drink. But that's after 19 years, 6 months sober. I just almost couldn't let that kind of trip out of my mouth. But I think you are in a position where you would, if you're wanting, are you wanting to have a more controlled relationship with alcohol, or are
I
you
don't
wanting to,
know.
or are you wanting to get back to the good old, in inverted commas, good old days of just drinking when I feel like it, how I like, when I like?
It's, I don't, I think, do you know what? At this moment in time, about a month ago, I remember a couple of occasions that I really wanted a drink and I thought, I can't break it. I have never done anything and stuck to it, other than my
Mm,
job in the last 20
yeah,
years, which is quite a miracle, really.
yeah.
But that's because I love it. So I've never given anything up because I'm obviously with diet culture, it's just lots of bullshit and all that kind of stuff. I don't, I don't know what I'm doing. And then I'm thinking, am I just going to go with it? So that's what I was going to say. So I would get a nice bottle of wine and I would just have a glass here before I have my dinner. Um, and then just see how I felt. And I'm like, well, would I actually like I think I don't know. So now
Okay.
I'm thinking, shall I break? Not yet, whenever I'm ready to break it and then really see how I feel. Because I never really did this. I just decided about 3 days before New Year's Day, I'm just going to stop just for a bit because I've had my arthritis was painful.
Was that
And
the
then I thought I'll just,
Was that the only reason? That has your? I mean, what other are there other reasons that maybe weren't acute at that point, but were there? I mean, for example, does alcohol aggravate your
yeah,
anxiety?
fuck yeah, Mark, it makes me, and I take anti-anxiety
Right,
tablets.
right. See,
So,
I'm going a little. So a small example. I'm going through something. I mean, lots of the follow. You know, we did coffee
yeah,
moaning. I'm going through something similar with coffee, where I'm having to, because it's terrible for ADHD. It's terrible for, you know, for anxiety, and I'm having to completely. And it sounds pathetic, and you know, first of all, but I'm just trying to reconfigure my morning so it's not the first thing I'm hardwiring into my body is coffee. I have it, but I have it after I've eaten something, and I have
okay.
far less, and I don't have more at this. I'm having to do all that shit, and the anxiety levels have changed. You know, it
For the
does have an effect. So
positive, Mark.
yeah, absolutely, a huge positive. So I think, you know, if in terms of why you stopped, and you know, it, I mean, there are two ways to go with this. You could either go the route of saying, you know what, let's try what's it called, consciously drinking, or you know,
Yeah,
conscious drinking, you know, and all that kind of stuff. My problem with alcohol is if you've got a problem with alcohol, or if alcohol isn't working for you, or if you've made a decision like this, and you're at this kind of really critical kind of crossroads, then there's enough of an issue with it that at some point it will come back.
yeah.
You
I,
know,
I
you can't
actually,
win.
no, and actually, Zoe, you know, our lovely Zoe Agnew, she was
Yeah.
messaging me today and she'd done the 100 days no drinking and then she went back to it. But she said she's more mindful of it. And then she said she's more mindful. I'm sure she won't mind me saying this because she's open about her
Mm,
anxiety. Is that when she's feeling anxious, she drinks less.
mm,
So, so a lot of people are asking me why I gave up. So just quickly, so why I gave up is I drank a lot over December as on a social.
mm,
I'm not a massive drinker. I'm a binge drinker. Don't really drink at home. And if I do drink, I might have one glass before I've eaten. I don't drink after I've eaten. Um, I never have actually. I've always feel full.
mm,
I don't want to drink. But when I go out, I love getting drunk. But it's not, it's more the fact, it's not the actual drinking. Okay, I think what it is, Mark, it's not the actual drinking, because I love getting drunk. I love drinking. I love getting drunk. I love it.
mm,
Genuinely love it. And I think I'm a happy drunk. I'm happy
mm.
and, just louder
Yeah,
and
yeah.
even more
See,
annoying. Um, but it's the after effects have found um, is the struggle I have, like with
yeah.
the anxiety, and then obviously having PTSD, post-cancer.
Yes.
I'm on anti-anxiety tablets. I still get a little bit wobbly,
Yeah.
panic attacky things. And my arthritis is really bad, and it's exacerbated from alcohol.
Sounds like you shouldn't drink.
But then maybe just drink,
Okay.
just manage the symptoms when I want to. I think the reason why I've done this is to really see how my body
Yeah.
is for a longer period of time without alcohol, because it's probably the longest time I haven't drunk for
Mm.
since I was 15.
Wow. Yeah.
In a one long period of
Yeah.
time,
I get it.
what
It's
it's
very
like.
unusual. It's
Yeah.
very
And then
unusual,
it's
but
like,
it's very unusual for anyone to do. I mean, that's why it's such a staggering achievement. And when Nadia did it, I think she hit 100, or she may have just fell shy of it. But she felt sensational.
yeah,
And the interesting thing about that, and you use the example of Zoe. I said that no way she. So you've used Zoe as an example. I would also argue that Nadia, since that 100-day experience, has more mindfulness around her drinking. I mean, that's an interesting thing. I think one of the problems with being sober is the world that I entered of sobriety, when I entered sobriety 19 years ago,
yeah,
was a very different world to the world now. There's a lot more tolerance and acceptance of being sober curious, not drinking a lot, being sober conscious, the actual percentage and strength of drinks counting. From I'm the generation, if you like, where it's like, is it in the syrup in your rum baba, and you've got to, run,
yeah,
possibly run for the hills, or is it in your cough medicine? You could relapse. I'm from that world now.
yeah.
I think now where we are I think we are in you look at the smoking ban that's possibly coming in. We're in a much more health conscious kind of world.
Mm.
And one of the things I wanted to ask as well is, when you've gone out and been social and you've not been drinking, what have you missed from those nights when you've been out?
Chatting shit.
Did you not chat shit anyway?
Yeah, I always chat shit, but then you know when when you're drunk and they're drunk and you've got the double shit chat,
Double
double
chat shit.
chat shit. But when you're the sober one, and then the more drunk they get, the more shit, and it's
Just
the same
shit.
chat, and then you get to the point where you're like,
This
it's
is shit.
really boring now, and it's not.
Right.
But we all do it when we're drunk. But when you're the sober one,
Yeah.
you're
Welcome
like,
to my world. It's difficult, and that's difficult because I quite like being around. I've always said I can't. This might be a strategy to use when you go out. I don't know if this is when I first got sober, and I would go out to meet friends in central London, say, and they were already drinking, and I was late from getting where I was getting to, and they were 2 or 3 or 4 drinks in. I could never
yeah,
access the situation, but if I started the evening with them,
yeah,
it was less of a problem, because it was like a slow dissolve into their drinking, and in the sort of conviviality of it all, I could just sort of join them in their stupid. I was sort of watching them and feeling their journey towards drunkenness. Whereas if
yeah,
if you like, if you classic is if you jump into a party and everyone's pounding and everyone's had this and done that, and you're
yeah,
stone cold. Of course, if you're stone cold sober, that's a hideous prospect, because you're like,
yeah.
no one's gonna. But the other thing is, no one fucking remembers. So it's about, you want to be able to chat more shit,
I don't know. I think
because
it's
that doesn't
like,
sound like
do
a
you know what it?
convincing trade-off against all the other wonderful benefits that
No,
you've just
no,
described.
no. I think it's a bit FOMO, because it's
Yeah,
normally
of
like
course it is.
I'm leading the chit chat. Do you know what I mean? Or like, what would you do for arms for legs or legs for arms? Do you know what I mean? And then we're all just like,
I
I
ask these
think it's
questions
the
all the fucking time.
so
Everyone
do
tells
I,
me
but
to shut the fuck up.
it's extra funny when you're really
And
pissed.
yeah, put your jumper on your legs and your trousers on your arms. You can do that sober and run around.
Yeah, true. And maybe, no, you're right. And actually, it's really interesting, because when I went to Dubai and I was staying with Ian, my ex-husband, he got drunk one night, and he came into bed with me purely as my mate, just
Yeah,
so you know. And I was in bed reading. He'd been out and I was in. And I went, and I filmed him, and I was going, asking him loads of questions about me and when we were together, and I said, I wasn't bad, was I? He goes, no, you were crazy. We lived in Hong Kong, and we used to live on an island, and we had to get a ferry, and I used to just take my clothes off and run around in my bra and knickers, and these poor Asians used to like look at me with and they'd say, oh my God, is that mad Guyla Western woman again? I was never, and he said to me, and then he said to me, do you miss that? And I went, yeah, I think I do.
Yeah.
Not that I wouldn't not do it now. It's like,
Someone just asked an interesting question there. Sorry, you've gone up, but something like, and I don't think this is meant in a sort of egotistical way, but I think, Nadia, is it about drink helps you be not the center of attention, but to be the star attraction? Do you like that?
oh, I love being the centre of attention.
Yeah.
But then I don't need alcohol to be centre of attention. But then and actually, to be fair, Mark, when I'm with Nads, I'm not using Nads because she's normally the centre of attention.
Yeah.
As in, like, between me and her, but normally Nads with her, because her chaps, but not in a lovely way.
Yes.
And I love listening because she's so animated, and it's not a drunk chat, it's an interesting chat, like we're chatting, do you know what I mean? So I love that. And I think the problem is when you're drunk and you're there and you're the sober one, that's when it's boring. I don't mind being sober with the girls, like with the Fab Four. It's lovely because we're all on an even keel. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So are there particular types of people you prefer being drunk with more than others?
No.
You don't have any certain, because the reason I asked that, for example, is I would get more drunk with work colleagues than I would with closer friends.
Is that because they were boring?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking boring. And there's nothing more boring than talking about media.
Yeah.
I've taken drugs, media. Oh, fucking hell, this is boring. I'll fucking drink and take drugs then. I mean, and I do think that you're coming to, someone else just said, another comment that went up there, a lot of people will want you to drink because they can't not drink.
Now that, yes. Now that my friend on Friday, my lovely Vicky, she admits that, and I'm her. Like, she'll say, "Kaz, go and do that, because and then I'll do it just to make her laugh. I love making people laugh, and I'm always, and I like, and I'm naughty.
Yeah.
But I know exactly what you mean. That I've eliminated all boring people out of my life. I don't allow them to be there. So so no, but I have got girlfriends that I haven't seen and who are drinkers. That not that I don't avoid them. Avoiding isn't like, I don't avoid them, but.
Have you avoided any situations in the 100 days that you knew would be challenging?
No.
That's great.
Not one. I've made, but also when I've done that, I've thought, oh, I'll have a drink tonight. If I'm thinking it's like, right, I'll have a drink tonight. It'll be fine.
Right.
I'll have a drink tonight.
Right. So I'm just reading that.
Names when you were at the Ransom Big Weekend, you were more present this time around. Oh, sorry. Yeah, one of my friends, Nines, is talking about not drinking, and it's really weird. I think I'm just coming. I think I'm bored.
Of being sober.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
But Mark, I'm not going to have a drink for the next. I know I'm not having a drink for the next couple of weeks.
Why do you know that?
Because I'm not doing anything drink wise. Well, I am. My sister's coming over on Friday, and she drinks. And actually, that's it. She drinks lager. I don't drink lager, so I won't need. I won't want a drink.
Have you got anything in the calendar in this year that you're thinking, fucking hell, that's going to be a blowout?
Yeah, a couple of things.
And are you thinking, I want to get as much quality time under my belt before the blowout?
No, I'm not.
Be
I'm not. No, and then the other thing. So I've got one of my other really close friends is only 4'11", and she literally only has one drink and she's trashed. So we go to where she's my festival buddy. We've been going to festivals together for 10 years,
right?
And we've never drunk. I have never drunk alcohol at any festival. Glastonbury, Isle of Wight, been to Croatia, been to Spain. No alcohol. so I'm going to Rudimental on the 4th of May, who I love,
Yeah.
but I won't drink.
Right.
I don't know. It's really fucking weird. I'm literally talking myself out of drinking.
Well, this is good because here's what I'm going to prescribe for you.
Okay, Dr.
I
Adderley.
I think you need to do another on top of the 100. So you've already done
Yeah,
7. I
yeah,
think you should do another 50 days. I think you should. And if you get there and when
yeah,
you drag yourself over the line,
yeah,
you're cursing my
yeah.
name, then we'll do another live and we'll touch base on
Can,
that at that
can
point.
somebody give me a date?
So what date would that
Yeah,
be?
I can't look because I'm on my phone.
I can't come off
Can
the.
somebody come on here?
What's
Fee,
what? So you're on
Fee.
107 today, aren't you?
No, well, it was 100 last Wednesday. Hold on, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. No, 106 today, Mark.
Okay. And I would, because someone else made a really gentle and I thought subtle point, which you would think, oh, that's just a very straight. It seems that I would say, looking and listening to everything you're saying, the pros massively outweigh the cons of talking shit at the moment, because you can still talk shit. I'm not saying you are now.
Rude.
Yeah, no, but I know you can.
Yeah.
So I think try to get to 150. When you get to that point, I think the great thing is that you're more than able to re-enter the world of drinking with the intention of being low level,
Yeah.
calm, what have you. You might decide at 100 at 150 not to, but you know I don't think there's any change. The reason I'm hesitating around all of this, when people are sober when they're massive alcoholics, what generally happens to anyone who picks up a drink again, if you have a huge problem, and this happens, I think, in the country at the end of things like Stoptober and Dry January, is and it's been studied and it's known, various sort of rehab centers have done studies into this. Say I stopped drinking, well, I stopped drinking in October 2004. If I picked up a drink tomorrow, so Thursday the 30th of May, they're saying there, 30th of May, there you go.
And I'm in
Yay.
London that night seeing a play with
Brilliant.
my very heavily drinker friend.
Oh, there you
Her
go.
birthday. So
There you go.
maybe I'll have a little. I know. I'll see.
See. So the 30th of May is 150. When people pick up a drink, so if I was to pick up a
Yeah.
drink, you've got the chart of what my alcoholism was doing up until 2004, yeah?
Yeah.
So this is the chart going up here. So here's 2004.
Yeah.
I jump off the drink and I come back to the bottom to sobriety. Time carries on. If I was to pick up now after 19 years, when I pick up, I will get to where I would have been. I don't go back to there. I go to where I would have been. And
Why?
Why? Because I tell you why I think that is. When you relapse, what happens is, you've failed. I mean, you haven't, because one can always immediately the next day, and this is really important for anyone who's struggling or picked up who's sober and what have you. You haven't failed, but I think what happens spiritually and emotionally is you think, I failed. This is what happened to me when I relapsed before I went into before I properly got sober in 2004. You go into such self-loathing, self-hate, self-denial, fear, guilt, and self-destruction that you need more substances, and for me it was drugs and drink, to numb yourself from the fact that you've failed. And I think that's why when you do relapse, you don't, at this point, you just hit rock bottom inadvertently because you're living your life that way. When you pick up at this point, you think, I've fucking trashed all of that progress, trashed it all, and therefore I'm going to drink even more to kind of numb myself off it. So what will be interesting is when and if you do pick up a drink and have a few drinks or what have you, is how easily it is for you, or how easy it is for you to stick to a much lower level of taking it in. And even if you want that blowout chat shit thing, whether that just happens either less often, whether that happens once or twice a month rather than 6 times, do you know what I mean? It's about moderation. And I think we do live in a time now where, we're past that idea. You're not a recovering alcoholic. You're not an addict.
No.
You're not that, but you are trying to get consciousness around your drink. And I think to find, I want all my girls, I've said it in the last live we did, I've said to all my girls, keep alcohol as a great acquaintance that you have a great laugh with every now and then, but not your best friend, because it'll fuck you up the arse. and that's not a best friend. That's something very different. And you know, and in order to do that, I think taking some time off and then coming back to it, you'll know quite quickly without doing too much damage to yourself whether you've managed to kind of
Yeah.
conquer it. And I have to say, I think that Nadia managed to do that. I know you in your live. I was thinking, I think
Mm,
what Nadia did manage to do, she managed to not, she can still overdo it, and she
yeah.
likes overdoing it, and she likes it,
She,
but she essentially cracked. She found something that was
yeah.
desirable in drinking less or
Yeah.
nothing
And she's
that she's kept
conscious of,
hold of.
and actually she's conscious of what she drinks as well, like
Yeah,
whether it's
yeah,
like wine. She doesn't make like she doesn't really like wine, and she'll drink vodka
yeah,
or things like that, which I think. And guys, don't get arguing amongst yourselves. Honestly, I don't mind you're giving information about. It's not what you guys have to understand. It's like I love alcohol and I love drinking. I don't have a issue with alcohol. It's alcohol is how it makes me feel,
yes,
and and a lot of it's to do. I've got diverticulitis, and so my tummy gets really sore. And it's how, and I'm a binge drinker. Like I go
mm,
out and I love, and I can still chat shit, guys. You know I
yeah,
can. I'm not any different drunk than I am sober. I'm
yeah,
just
yeah,
louder,
yeah,
even
yeah, yeah,
if that's even possible. But it's just interesting for somebody from you, Mark, who I always see. It's so admirable what you've done, and I know you don't think that, but it bloody fucking is. But
yeah.
and I think when you're and I think so many of my peers drink way too much, which they know they do. I'm not
Mm,
sat there like telling them you should drink so much. They know,
yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
it's like, and also, and I think Lee asked me, it's like, would I feel like I failed? Like you said, Mark, similar personalities, that sort of obsessiveness.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah,
I've never done anything or stopped anything, eliminated anything for 100 days,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
106 days. I would feel really bad to myself. I'd
yeah.
feel pissed off. I wouldn't go and get drunk like you, Mark. I wouldn't have, I
No,
didn't have that. I'd just be fucking disappointed. Do you know what I mean?
right.
It's like, I'm really disappointed.
Yeah,
It's like, yeah, why'd you let yourself down, Kaz? Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
So
totally.
I think maybe I'm still not in a place to decide. So I
I think
think,
you're in a really good, interesting. Sorry to interrupt.
no,
I think
good.
you're in a really fertile place at the moment, exploring the highs and lows of not drinking.
Yeah,
You've spent all your years and all your life being able to drink. This is microscopic compared to all the rest of the time in your life that you've had drinking, and all
yeah,
the time in the rest of your life you're going to have being able to drink. So
yeah,
why not really roll around in it,
yeah,
relish it, throw challenges at yourself, really kind of be out on a big bender but not drinking, and
yeah,
fucking run around with your clothes off and see if it fucking floats your boat, because it might. And and when you then come back to drink, I think it's spot on what you're saying. With this time, maybe what you need and all you need is 100 to 150 days of
yeah,
really zenning it, Buddhisting it, retreat. You've been on a kind of spiritual alcohol retreat in your heart, and you will
yeah,
get strategies and you will get ideas. And plus, what you've also done, you've publicized it, which is
yeah,
massive. You've got a network of friends who understand it and will
yeah,
be able to now reach out to you and mention it and say, "Oh, Kaz, you know what you were saying about not wanting to drink and you not being annoying. Well, tonight it's not that you're annoying, but I think you seem really down, or do you know what I mean? If
yeah,
you notice that your mood is down, you've got people." And that is a really important part of it, because one of the major problems for anyone who has a profound drinking problem, it's the secrecy, it's the lies, it's the
yeah,
shame, it's the hiding it. And the last thing you've done is any of that.
yeah. No,
And you haven't got alarm bells going here.
yeah, and I didn't want to make a big deal out of it. And January's always, as we don't like dry January, do we, Mark? But
And
it's like,
fuck off, dry January. Dry January, dry January causes alcoholism.
yes,
It causes binge drinking psychotic behavior in February. It's
that
madness.
that's
That's
why
why.
and exactly the same when you restrict certain foods in your fucking
Exactly.
diet, and then you'll start
You don't
binging.
want.
It's like
Yeah.
you don't want that. You don't want to
No.
do that. And I
No.
do think, and it is interesting because I've never done this in my,
Exactly.
as I said, since I've been a drinker since I was fucking 15, maybe 13, but we don't want to talk about that. But it's like. and I will throw myself. I haven't said no to anything. And I tell you one thing, one of the things that really makes me feel lovely is waking up at the weekend and not having a hangover.
Yeah.
That
Yeah. Well,
is the motherfucking, oh, I feel great. And then on the WhatsApp group comes, I go, oh my God, I feel disgusting. My head hurts. I feel like shit. Wish it was
yeah.
and and I just kind of like that
Well, there you
smuggy.
go. But you see, and the other thing also to remember is, you know, say you do 100, say you do 150, say you start drinking, say it all goes wrong in some way. Maybe you're like, oh, fucking hell, I feel really, really, the contrast is just awful. You know, I mean, a lot of people are saying things here. You don't, you know, if you have a problem with drink, it can evolve over time. You know,
Yeah,
none of us are immune to the possibility of our relationship with alcohol. No one is immune to it morphing into something that becomes a profound problem. So that's not to say I don't want to sit here in 10 years' time. You've gone and picked up a drink and we're having another chat and you're in rehab going, fucking hell, Mark, what are you doing? You
it's
know,
all your fucking fault, bitch.
exactly. And it's not to make light of it at all. But where you're at right now, you are what I would call a sort of drinking civilian who's engaged in the 100-day thing that a lot of people do, not many in the way that they do dry January. And I think the point of the 100-day thing, which I think is very good,
Yeah,
is that it does the very thing that you're doing, which is it just nudges you into a really meaningful conversation with yourself.
yeah.
You're
Which I don't
feeling
really do
things.
that sort of shit, Mark.
No, you don't do that sort of shit, but you clearly have done, because
Yeah,
everything you're saying to me, you describe how it's impacted on positively in so many different ways.
absolutely. And I think, is Richard Grinley a
Yeah,
friend of
Richard
yours?
Grindley, you don't wake up an alcoholic. You're absolutely right, Richard.
Yeah, I
And
like
Richard
that.
was also saying,
Yeah,
yeah,
and you know what? It's not, and it is. I managed to, what's the word? Deal with my eating disorder
right,
which I had for many years of dieting, binging, chucking up, and all that shit. And years ago, and this, which was harder in my eyes for me because that was my real shitness. But alcohol, I want to have a lovely relationship. Like I have a lovely relationship with chocolate now.
yeah,
Me and chocolate
good,
love each other. We are like
good,
the best of friends.
yeah,
And I want to have, and somebody said, do I always binge? No, I don't always binge. If I go out and we're going to eat, I'll have a few drinks before and then we eat and then that's it. And then I'm
yeah,
not
yeah, yeah.
really, not, yeah, but not, no, if I go out and there's a party, binge, kebab on the way home, drunk text your ex for sex or something shit like that. Do you know what
Ah. You see, my thing is that if it's not curtailing, and for me, many of the early years, and still to this day, you know, it gets in the way of my free ability just to do stuff. I used to, when I drank, I used to be, it was just everything just
I mean?
happened. Let's go there. Let's do
Yeah,
this. Let's do that. Everyone this
yeah,
way. Everyone, and it was great, and it was infectious, and it was intoxicating, literally for me and everyone. And that's the thing. If I choose to get into a sort of depressed place about it, I miss that. But for me, the trade-off has to be that the damage I was doing to myself and others was far outweighing the ability just to have that instinct. And what I work on with myself all the time is saying yes to more, making little bits of progress. Now, what I see in you, which I'm a little bit not jealous in a sort of jealous way, but what I think you've got that I think makes it worth you doing another, say, for whatever it is, 43 days, is it doesn't sound like it's impinging on your socializing whatsoever. So why would you run back to something just now when you could have a little bit longer to kind of think about it and just feel what it's like to just physically and emotionally and mentally feel like you've got a bigger achievement under your belt for the moment that you do pick up a drink. It's like you're whenever I come downstairs or I'm somewhere and people have had wine and they've left half glasses with
yeah.
half,
You
I
always
want
say
to
that.
fucking break the glass and glass them. It's like you can drink this fucking stuff and you've lived it. You know what I mean? And there's a little bit of that, I would say, just from a purely French, where what I'm feeling right now is don't wreck what you can't even put words onto it. You can't even nail it all down. But don't wreck now
No,
what
yeah,
you're going through, which is really meaningful, for the
yeah,
sake of one night of chatting shit. Park it a bit further away.
yeah, and yeah. I'm going to park it. And then somebody said, is alcohol, is drink an excuse for bad behaviour? Not bad behaviour. No, it's not an excuse for
No.
bad behaviour. No, bad behaviour is bad behaviour. Naughty behaviour is different. Naughty is being naughty.
Yeah.
And I think you're totally right, Mark.
Cheeky. I like being cheeky.
Yeah. Okay, if you weren't an alcoholic,
Yeah.
that's a big sign.
Yeah, go on. If I wasn't an alcoholic,
Oh, what the fuck's she going to
what
say now?
what would I drink?
Would you like to drink now?
I forever and a day will honestly say to everyone, I wish I hadn't destroyed my
Yeah.
relationship with
Yeah.
alcohol.
Sorry,
So,
Mark, you did say
no,
that.
no, no, no,
Yeah.
no, no, no. But if I was to be honest, absolutely,
Yeah.
I miss the ability. And don't get me wrong, when I say this, Nadia and all those people who love and care for me are constantly trying to get me into meditation, yoga, or
Yeah.
exercise does it for me. But
Yeah.
I was always a fan. I could never do spliff. I could never do the
Oh,
slowing down
yeah.
drugs. I had to take everything that made me go faster, seemed more productive. I mean, when I was at college, I was on so much speed one time. I wrote a timed essay and we had a 72-hour exam. I did it so fast, but I was off my tits. And then when I looked at it and handed it in, it was just lines with the odd little bobble that said, I don't know, David Lean or some film director. I'd literally gone, like, anyway, no. So anyway, I only like buzzy stuff, but I miss all the when I'm struggling at my worst and it's bipolar and it's all these kind of things. I wish I had the choice of having a drink just to take the edge off things.
Yeah.
So if I wasn't an alcoholic, which
Yeah.
would mean I probably hadn't stopped drinking,
Yeah.
I would still enjoy. I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I suppose the question is, do I miss it? Of course I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely,
Yeah. Yeah.
massively.
But
Yeah.
isn't it funny that I'm one of those people when people say to me, when they say, say in my work, like, and we talk about their lifestyle, their diet, or what
Mm.
they're drinking, and then they say, do you drink? Yeah, I always have a drink when I get in from work. So I'm knackered. I've had a really tough day, and I said, well, and I tell them it's the worst way to unwind because it's actually a stimulant. You're not going to sleep well. It's gonna and then so it's not like I don't know,
No.
and it's like, but isn't it funny how we turn to alcohol to relax us when actually it's the worst thing you can
Oh, it's
do. So
the worst thing you could do. I mean, I just love the phrase "getting out of your head."
yeah,
I
yeah.
spend most of my
It's
time trying.
escapism, isn't it, for
Yeah,
you?
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. And I spend most of my time fictionalizing in my head ways of getting out of my head. And I find it performing is part of it, being silly. I and do all of the kind of stuff we do on all our socials. All of that I find very. It gets me out of my head. It gets me out of my head because I can't fucking drink. But you know. But I will never pick up it. The thing is, I don't have a substance issue, so
yeah,
I don't miss alcohol.
yeah,
I'm very lucky.
yeah.
I can smell if I'm sat in a pub with someone, or the other day someone had a pint of lager. I was like, oh, let me have a sniff. The whole table went into a fucking hell. And I was like, no, I just want to smell it, and just smelling it is, they
Yeah,
say in AA that's you're tempting the day. Well, for some people, absolutely, but for me, I've got no desire to have a drink whatsoever. I mean, I don't have any desire, but the desire to not feel the sharpness of thought.
yeah.
Oh God, I would love to lose
And
that.
actually and I think, no, I totally get that, Mark. I know you're like that. And I think the escapism, for me, exercise is my escapism. I'm buzzing off my tits when I come out the gym.
Yeah,
I'm literally, not every session, but if I really want to do, like, oh, fuck, I just get this, come on.
yeah, yeah.
I literally, oh my God.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. And then I have the thing, well, why would I want to put a poison into my body if I've just been to the gym? Do you know what I mean? I get that kind of,
You've
you know.
just given me a whole heap of other reasons why you just need to get to the 30th of May.
Okay.
Okay,
I'm going to do it.
there you go. Do it.
What happens though if there's a really good result when we go to Parliament?
Then
I'm going to celebrate with a lime soda.
I tell you what you do at that point. You go to the bar and you buy everyone else a drink.
Yeah,
And you
okay.
go, fucking hell, girls, here we go.
Okay.
And then you just take your top off and run down the street.
Yes!
Yeah. Talk shit. Just actively talk. I talk shit every time we have dinner in this house. It drives
Yeah,
them all
true.
mad.
And actually, I can't do it when I'm with Nads because Nads is famous, and then they will go. It'd be in the fucking headlines. Nadia's friend running down
Yeah,
the street
yeah,
naked,
yeah.
and
And
it'll all
then
be
rub her
her. It
face
will
in
all
them
be
and
her
everything.
fault. That's why she stops me all the time. It's always her fault. I would be
Exactly.
really crazy if it wasn't for her as my friend. But I do, and I've written. Do you know what? You've made me feel much better. Seriously, Mark, I feel like no, actually, do you know what? I am doing all right because it's
You're doing
almost like
brilliantly.
I've got 107 days now. I know now what. It's like I didn't know what to do. It's like,
And
well,
the other great thing about saying 50 is you're not doing another 50 days. It's like, you know, that wonderful saying when you start a marathon. Some guy said when we were training for a marathon, they said the wonderful thing is within the first 2 minutes, you haven't got a marathon to run because you've done part of it. And you're like, fuck, that
fucking
really, I
hell, I
love
love
that.
that.
Yeah. As soon as you step over the start line, you haven't got a marathon to run. You're past it. You're
Shitting
in.
hell, that's so
Yeah. So
true.
you're already almost a quarter of the way
And I've
there.
done 7 marathons. They were far harder than this.
Yeah,
This
exactly.
was easy.
Exactly. There you go.
You're the best. Right.
Oh,
In
better than all the rest.
in 47 days, we're gonna
43.
come back and we're gonna do. So and that's the other thing. That's the other thing. A lot of people are recommending a a drink substitute. I like just drinking lime soda. I'm fine with that. So I
Yeah,
don't need a drink substitute. I don't need a drink to taste like
Hi,
alcohol.
Tori. Hi, Tori. Yeah, no, absolutely. I love, the reason I like ginger beer is I love anything that's quite
Oh,
sort
I
of,
like ginger beer.
yeah, it makes me cough and choke. I love that. It's like a whiskey. It's like, "Bleh!"
Yeah, I love that. I love feeling
Yeah.
like I'm gonna cough and choke.
Yeah, I mean, anything that's like painful, it's like
Yeah.
why I only drink double espressos. Anything that feels like someone's opened my mouth and it's got a razor blade and is sort of shaving my
I mean,
tongue.
fucking
Ah,
hell. Who
give
wouldn't
me
want
a,
that?
yeah, who wouldn't want that? So let's smack my bitch up on the 30th of May. Smack my bitch. You know that song has been, they've had to change the lyrics on that, I think, on Spotify.
Have
They
they?
can't, if you go on Spotify and look for Smack My Bitch Up, I don't think it's
Yeah.
called Smack My Bitch Up. I think it's called Smack My partner up or something
Oh, that's all
ridiculous.
right then. That's even better.
Yeah, yeah,
Does that mean you can smack
yeah,
your
yeah,
male
yeah.
partner or your female partner? Doesn't really matter now, does it?
Exactly. I think it was I think it was smacking drugs. I don't think it was smacking people. But anyway, have you seen my fire breathing nun?
No.
Okay,
Shoot.
check her out. She's so
Show and
cool.
tell, show and tell.
Show and tell. I've always had a thing about nuns.
Have you? Is it a habit? What the fuck? Is she supposed to
Oh,
do that?
she just spat. Come on, give me it.
Is she supposed to do that?
Yes, harder. There you go.
Would you like Naz to dress up as a
Yeah,
nun?
I'm gonna go and get the nun outfit now.
Not
Hey,
again. She's getting fed up with that.
I
Seriously,
know,
Mark, it's
I know the nun
embarrassing.
outfit. Oh, I hope it's been helpful, sweetie.
Honestly, do you know what? It really, genuinely, I just feel calmer now.
Oh, good,
It's like
good.
I was getting panicked that I wasn't fucking
You're
drinking
doing
or what to do
brilliantly.
or
You've done brilliantly. You're doing brilliantly. You've got not long to get to another little benchmark. What
yeah,
an achievement. And just use it to really think about every situation in which you're not having a drink, where you would have had a drink. Think and listen to, right, here's some advice. Really listen to what your friends are saying. And I don't mean they're saying it from their friends,
yeah,
but even the most well-meaning friends can put pressure on here really listen out to what friends are saying, and it might be also friends that are saying, I don't know if you should. You seem so much better. Listen to everything. Really listen to what people are saying.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
somebody just says I can see I've calmed down.
Wow.
Who's White 3809? Do you know me really? Do you know me really well? Have I calmed down? I don't know.
You do seem happier.
Do I?
Yeah. There's a sort of ease
Oh.
rather than a dis-ease.
Maybe it's the anxiety. My anxiety's been way better. That's definitely.
Well, there you go. There you go. There you go. I'm going to go and have a coffee and
You
and a Jack Daniels.
you cannot have a coffee at
No,
10
I'm
to
not.
8 at night.
I'm joking. I don't mean it. I'm going to take my temperature. That's what I'm going to do.
I love the fact that your ADHD is like off your, like you're like me, you get bored now. Can we change the subject?
Yeah, my psychiatrist said you're off the scale. I said, what does that mean? He
Yeah.
said, well, here's a piece of paper, and he said you're up here. I said, oh, it does mean off the scale.
Somebody told me, one of the doctors at the hospital, who's a pediatric special needs doctor, said to me, "No, you're not just ADHD. I think you might be autistic as well." I went, "Oh fucking hell, just fucking hell, that's it."
Say I'm psychopathic and punch him.
No wonder I couldn't get one qualification at school.
Fuck qualifications.
Yeah, fuck them.
They're just shit.
Got a degree of life, bitches.
Yes.
Right, going.
I think we need to get you. I'm going to get you a little medal for your 150 days. Let's get you a medal.
As long as I can wear it around my neck.
Yes. Yes. Do it.
I'm just going to wear it everywhere. Oh, it's Kitty Gritty.
Oh, look. Everyone's waving. You've all missed the chat, guys.
Fuck off now. We've finished.
Yeah. Go away.
Yeah.
All right, sweetie. Well,
I've now made Mark drink and I'm sober.
Yeah, I'm actually about to inject my eyeballs with crack. It's fantastic. Anyway, no, we've had a great time. That's been brilliant. It helps me as well, so thank you.
See what?
I don't know, realise that there's some point to this fucking sober lark. What's the fucking point?
It helps you realise.
Has this ever happened to you, though?
Me leaving a party because I shit my pants.
It's an action figure.
Oh, that is rank. Do you know what? I have actually done that.
Oh, fucking hell.
I have. I've been so pissed on the way home with a bag of chips. I need to go for a poo, and I poo my pants. On that note, should we leave it like that?
I think we'll end on that very, 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 on that plonking note. We'll leave it there. Oh, sweetie, look, sending you lots of love, my darling.
You're the best. Thank you,
You're
Mark.
better than
Genuinely.
the best. You're better than all the rest.
Oh, my God, you so are.
Oh, sending you love, sweetie. I'll upload this as well and then share it on the stories.
Thank you.
Bye.